Kanpai!
Oh, okay. All right. So just a hearty welcome, weebs, to episode, I'm assuming, 76 of Kanpai Cast. And this is another episode of watching each other's favorite stuff. So, or in Nasuth's case, bro, what the fuck did you make me watch? So, however, bro, do even timestamps, bro. Dog, I got this sick Patreon. Help me with those big gains with a like and subscribe. I don't know, right, okay, I don't know what Nasuth is on about, right? But if you want to skip to specific shows that we're going to talk about, or, like, you know, slander each other, slag off our tastes in anime, you know, go into the description below, you'll see a link, you'll see all the timestamps. Also, there's the whole track rail thing, which gives the whole, what's it called? The side chapters thing on the left of us, right of us even. Yeah, so there's all this sorts of stuff. You know, in addition, you know, we have my Patreon, which all the funds basically go to Nasuth's pocket to do video editing and stuff. And yes, honestly, like and subscribe, and a comment. It all helps with the channel. So
we got some new comments. I think they were new commenters. Either that or they just don't comment very much. But I was pleased to see some faces, some irregular faces.
Nice, right? And also, just so everyone's aware, the show is going on hiatus for 2 to 3 weeks while I am in Japan. I did try to tease the pair and, you know, twist their arms into actually continuing to do my to fill my slot, but they were like, "Nah, we want the time off as well." I'm like, fine.
Yeah,
sounds like effort, man.
Why are you the only one that gets a vacation, huh?
Fair. Right, okay, so we're not entirely sure when we're going to be back. It's entirely dependent on when I'm back.
Yeah.
So,
and when you get over the jet lag.
Yep. Right, okay, so let's move on to the actual, what's it called? I think main staple of the show.
Topic.
So, yeah, the main topic. Itself.
So Xeno had the bright idea.
Say bright.
Of picking shows that we hadn't watched for each other to watch.
Yep.
So, you know, Xeno would pick 3 that he wasn't able to pick just 3 because, of course, I've watched most of the shows he has.
Yeah.
And we do our 3-episode review, but on these shows or even on a movie. Nasuth.
Yeah. Yes, Nasuth. I gave you a movie. I've decided that I am a cinema snob, and I like really weird artsy stuff, especially if it makes no sense.
So, to break it down, Nasuth gave Thaylien Eyes of Mars, what's called the Count of Monte Cristo, and Summertime Rendering. Thaylien gave us Najica Blitz Tactics, Maid May, and Those Who Hunt Elves, and I gave them Good Luck Girl, Guyver, and I gave Nasuth
you gave
Love After World Domination, and Thaylien Rage of Bahamut Genesis, because it was so difficult, like, finding stuff that, you know, I'd watched that neither of them had both watched, so you know, that's what we went for. So I think the best way to tackle this is one of us goes first to say which anime that we're going to talk about. They say what drew them to the series, why they liked it, why they've given it the rating that they want to give it, and then it's up to the other two to give their rating and what they took away from it. Right?
Oh, so like I pick Eyes of Mars and tell you why I liked it, and then you two tell me why I am just a weirdo.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Should we start with that? Should we start with Eyes of Mars?
Agreed. Let's get the weirdness out of the way first.
Okay. Go on, Nasuth.
Right,
Eyes of Mars.
So, Zeno just watched this morning, and I was in the call with him.
Oh my god!
And it was everything I hoped for. Like I said right at the beginning, I'm a kind of a weird cinema snob or something. The movie is so competent in terms of art style and animation. Granted, the YouTube copy is really blurry because I don't think there's ever been a DVD release of this, and I'm pretty sure it's only been recorded off of TV.
VHS.
Yeah. So like it's hard to tell.
Find it on YouTube. That's interesting.
Really? Did you find the dubbed? Or sorry, the subbed version? No.
No, I found the dubbed, but
okay.
It was surprisingly it was like actually 720p and
wow.
Yeah.
I want your source.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's so weird how it's really well done artistically. I think I actually looked this up, and it's released by Toei. But the story is so insane. Like, even when you understand it, even when you've seen it all, because Xena was really, really lost early on. But even once it's all explained, like, it's so just what? I think I made the comment. It's like somebody saw Evangelion and said, "Ah, yes, we too can take these symbols and just do things with them."
Yeah. So if you were to give Eyes of Mars a rating, Nasuth, what would you give Eyes of Mars a rating?
Oh God! See, I want to give it a must-watch because it's so terrible that it's unique in its terribleness, but I think for the general populace, it's probably a pass.
Okay.
Let's face it. Let's face it. It's only weirdos like me who like it.
Okay. It's also quite interesting to see like where anime came from. You know, how it's got. Okay, so Thaylien, would you like to do the honors first?
My response, I literally said it out loud when I finished watching, was, well, that was weird. I'm going to give this one a pass rating because so, but not because of the things that many people thought of, not because of the weirdness of how weird it is. I knew I was in for a trip when that badly synthed piano kicked in the first, scene with them running away. Okay, and I was disappointed the entire way through. There's no other way to say it. But they had so many things that I just had to question for art style, for the scripting, which probably was down to the dubbing as well, but for the fact that every time they talk about things that have happened, like something that's happened in the past of the actual movie, they talk about it as if it's days ago, when it's literally only minutes or hours. So they talk about their friendship and how things have progressed and how things have gone over these weeks. We've not seen time pass. This could all be happening in the same 2 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He says
okay.
There's a hint of that later when he says it used to take him a while to get down there until he found the elevator.
Yeah.
So it's implied that his trip down took a while.
The first time when we first saw him go down as a escaping from the police or whatever it is. That's him going down the first time, and somehow
but it's not very well
between then.
Yeah, it's not very well.
They do
have to go. You don't have to go down like 700 levels or something.
Yeah, it's easy to tell how when somebody's going to be a bad guy in this one as well, because one of the particular bad guys literally had a stripe on the badge on his neck that made it look like an SS logo.
Yeah, I picked up on that as well. I even said, "Oh, has that guy got an SS on his badge?"
The YouTube quality was a little hard to see, but yeah.
Later scenes, it's actually a gold zigzag, like a lightning bolt.
Yeah,
through it. But in earlier scenes, there is no color difference. It's just the SS lines going through it. Really weirded me out as well. And of course, there is the fact that it's a very Shakespearean kind of tragedy. Everybody ends up dead on the stage, and yet somehow that's a good thing.
Because their spirits migrated.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
But she
Yes,
left her mom and dad behind, which I just every time I think about
To
that,
float
I'm like,
in
what are
space.
you
Look
doing?
there, right there,
What are you
right there.
doing?
They leave the parents to float in space because to die anyway, and doesn't take their spirits with them.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And they went with the symbolism of naming the girl Eve, and yet then
Oh yeah, but the boy. Okay, the
Oh,
boy
no,
is
but
due.
we have to-
There is a Shah Adam, the leader of the people down underground. Not the prophet guy or whatever his name was, but
Yeah.
the old man.
The messenger.
Yeah. His name was Adam, which is weird.
yeah, it's
And her mother is Mary,
And-
but her father isn't Joseph.
no. It's very, very odd. They have all of this concept there. And I did like that little idea that they called the fifth planet Atlan. And then, so...
No, it was
there
Atlas.
was
And then the city
Atlas.
that they
Sorry,
built was Atlan.
Atlas is the... Yeah, so
planet,
they came
yeah.
from Atlas, built Atlan on Mars,
yeah.
and then they went to... They're going to Earth and apparently create Atlantis. And the narrator states it as if it's just like historical fact.
Oh, Plato wrote about it. It must be true.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm willing to give
yeah.
it that concession because a lot of stuff just is like, oh yeah, you have to accept this is real.
It's just got incredibly weird pacing. And what was even most of the point of it, because
It's an anti-technology message, or anti.
No, because it's very
Like-
it is very preachy. Yes,
Yeah.
the anti-technology, but I'm thinking of preachy. That was the thing with the messenger. Say, oh my God, that's E.Y.E.S. No, that was Atlas.
No,
That's
that's wrong.
no, you fool! Never interrupt me again, you. idiot."
Exactly.
And even in that scene, they went from the messenger possessing her because he had no body, to going back to being the light on the top of the pedestal halfway through the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, where is there's no consistency. Like, Sarah's chasing too through the forest, and somehow loses him, but she shouldn't have, based on how badly he was doing. And somehow he manages to make it to the river and start, complimenting the water without Sarah on his back constantly. Like, what did she just have a nap?
Yeah.
It's so incredible. It's just
So
oh.
for me, this is a raging dumpster fire. I do not comprehend what the script writers were thinking. It feels very symbolic from the West. It feels like, some Western company paid to have this produced. I genuinely don't know. It has very strong resemblance to a lot of Ghibli stuff, but at the same time, that's about, it's just the aesthetic, and that's where it stops, right? One of the main characters, who's this boy that you see at the start, his name is Do, right? Of all the weird names. You don't find out his name for the first, I want to say, 20 minutes, right, of this hour and 10-minute movie. And it's really telling to the pacing of the fact that this character that you follow for 5 to 10 minutes, you don't find out his name until like minute 20 or minute 25.
Because it's a mystery.
Well, honestly, it just cuts away and so what was that about? I don't understand. So honestly, the pacing of this is all over the place. I don't know if basically the scientific understanding of celestial bodies was just incomprehensible to the populace at the point of writing this, because I don't understand it. It makes no sense why the people of Atlas. No.
Yes,
it is Atlas. The people of Atlas who destroyed Atlas, who are fleeing to Mars, why the Mars humans end up destroying Atlas. And we're not just talking small explosion, we're talking like big explosion to result in asteroids, and it destroys the atmosphere, the environments of Mars. And there's only this one tiny little colony of humanity left. And like, it is extremely preachy. I think the saving grace of this is to watch this with friends. If you're just like, hey, do you fancy watching something utterly trash, and
make fun of it the whole way through.
Yeah, because like we actually had, I had to take a pause. Like, I mean, I can't remember how far we got, but it got to the point of the anti-technology seminar.
It was just after it was just after he'd been raised, and the messenger had been raised. Yeah. I needed to take a break because it was just like so dumb. And then we got the somehow the mum and the dad end up getting launched into space, and then they're just floating around in orbit of Mars, right? And then it's just like, so dumb. It is. I'm sorry.
We give up. What's going on? The complete. So we're the last two living people, and we're floating away into space.
Yeah,
but
it's okay because their spirits lived on. But not their spirits,
not theirs,
just
not
everyone else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Not
Nasuth, why the fuck did you make us watch this?
I can understand why he did.
Okay.
I can understand why he did.
It's an experience, is what it is.
Please never ask me about this again.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna make a joke of this. I think Loz had a prophetic vision as to this was coming, and that's why he noped out the series when he did. Anyway, right, let's move on. Thaylien, do you want to pick one of yours?
Well, alrighty. Actually, I'm just going to get on the list because
I
picked for you guys Maid May.
We're going to go over that first. Yep. Maid May. Go. Okay, Nasuth, do you want to start? Oh, no, sorry.
No,
Thaylien, tell us. Yeah, that's it, sorry.
Okay, what drew me to this originally was the fact that I was still exploring anime and still trying to find shows that were, to my tastes. And this is a favourite, not because it's good. I will give the show a nothing special. But but it's still one of my favourites because it's one of those ones of the entryway to anime that I found that nobody seems to have actually watched or heard of around me. But I still managed to find it in a small DVD shop in the middle of the English countryside. So, I have no idea how it got there. Somebody imported it to England. Somebody put it all the way to me. And that was, enough of a surprise that I watched the whole thing through, and it's still one of my favourites to this day. Just sheer surprise. Now, it's a fairly simple story in that sense. It's a much nerdy and geeky boy is trying to create the actual Doraemon from the Doraemon series. He's trying to create a living artificial intelligence, and out of nowhere, his rival, the guy that's trying to sabotage him,
is Mandark? Is it Mandark that's Dexter's?
Yes, I think it's Mandark.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's Dexter and Mandark.
So,
yeah,
it's Mandark for this. I can't remember what his name is. It's a long time since I've actually watched it. But he decides to... oh no, I do know his name is Kotaro Nanbara, because of the rap. The Nanbara rap. So he sends him a disk, which will apparently have the key to artificial intelligence on it. But he password locks it with a video, and the password is literally a Nunbara rap, where the Nunbara is rapping along to do this whole password, and our main character is typing as fast as he can to keep up. And then when he gets to the end of it, the guy, his main ambition is, and of course he autocompletes with, to create Doraemon, but no, the actual rap continues. So having put in the wrong password, he gets sent to a weird website that tells him that his order's being confirmed and sends him a tiny robotic maid that runs on USB power. And her name is May.
Well, she's not supposed to run on USB power. She's supposed to have a charging station that she stands on. Yeah. But he breaks that. Yeah.
Either way. Yes.
Yeah.
So
because they had to have an excuse for him to take off her clothes.
Actually finds out that she is surprisingly seems to be an AI. So he's thinking of studying her to do that. But of course, there is the thing that she seems to be, reacting like a real person. So he's has second thoughts about that. And it's again nothing special. It's just a cute little anime where the main character falls in love with a tiny maid, and there's shenanigans ensue. There's no real overall driving plot of it apart from his usual ambition to actually create AI and protect his tiny maid.
Cool. Nasuth, do you want to go first, or shall I?
No. I think you should go, because that way you won't give your thoughts and then immediately go into one of yours. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Right. So my take on this is I can appreciate a nothing special. I would say this is a high nothing special or a low acquired taste. Right. I was pleasantly surprised. This is very slice of lifey, and I quite like slice of life stuff. The relationship between our main protagonist and the rival is, it's very stereotypical, and it's on a level greater than that of Ash and Gary, right? It's very playful. Yeah. It's very fun. I like the fact that our rival character, who is seen on the top of this human totem pole, he is so stupid that while he is observing his nefarious act of trying to install a virus on our main protagonist's computer, I can't remember his name, but his car is getting vandalized right behind him, and he's too self-absorbed in what's happening. He completely misses what's going on right behind him. To the point of he ends up getting hit on the head. Oh yes, I remember now why. He ends up getting smacked on the head with a flower pot. He passes out, and he's there the entire night. And then he wakes up, and his car's been vandalized, and it's like, how dare anyone... And we're talking like there's just graffiti on it. It's like, how dare anyone would vandalize my car, so on and so forth. And it was dumb. It was dumb and fun. I think this has potential to be something fun and entertaining.
How many episodes did you get in?
I got to 3. I quite easily I only did 3 of everything.
Same here. There's a mid-season twist on it that ups this a little bit, but I don't know whether you'd consider it an up or a down.
Well, I do feel that this is one I would like to make time to finish. I do feel that the intro gives enough of a tease to, hey, come watch more of it. I wouldn't say, like, if I had to choose between this and Dragon Maid, I'm sorry, this is not going to win. Dragon Maid wins out on there. But I think it's enough to make time to watch. Unlike Eyes of Mars, where the only reason why we'd watch that is if you were to get completely and utterly shit-faced.
You will remember it forever, though.
I'm trying really hard not to. I've only just watched it. So, but anyway, Nasuth?
So, my thoughts are very much similar to Xeno's. I actually gave it an acquired taste because I think it's, for the time it came out especially, it was probably like it was. There's a million shows like this now, but
yeah,
there weren't when this came out. However, I didn't like it because I don't go in for wholesome slice of life comedy stuff most of the time. I also felt like this was a story about our main character was just discovering his new fetish, and I was like, that's okay. I don't really want to watch that, but okay. And yeah, I don't know, the comedy was all right. The voice, I watched the English dub, so the voice acting was okay. Very 2000s. But I mean, like, yeah. This felt like a comedy version of Chobits, and I didn't really like. Well, I guess Chobits starts out kind of comedy, but anyway, and I didn't like Chobits, so I'm not really gonna go in on this either. And yeah, that's really it. I just didn't.
But would you also agree that this is leagues better than Chobits?
If only because it's actually funny and
yeah.
The character is much more emotive than she. Yeah, sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. I also want to just throw in there that I actually really like the fact that the next door neighbor, who seems to be like
the childhood friend.
I think she's the
childhood friend.
Yeah, granddaughter of the landlady, childhood friend. Like, she really has the hots for the main male protagonist. She is trying so hard to come on to, and it's just like, and it's completely unknown. It's completely over his head, and like, my God, man, you do not realize what you have.
Yeah.
So, but
stretching that credulity of suspended disbelief on that, is it?
Yeah. Right. Unless there's nothing else, let us move on to Good Luck Girl, or in the Japanese, Goddess of Misfortune. So, I really enjoy the series. I think it's an acquired taste, borderline must watch. I think the comedy and nuance to what's happening is hilarious. I love the frequent pop culture references. I wish I had time to take more screenshots of this series. It's hilarious how is it the juxtaposition? Basically, it sets up the scene and then does a complete flip on a dime to change the direction of what's going on. It's just hilarious. I can't really think of many series that have tried to pull off this, along with being so culturally referential to just Japan.
God, Dragon Ball, like right? the whole like, was it the closet? Yeah, the closet with the interdimensional interior space, and every time she opens it, it's like a different scene from a different anime. It's like,
Yep. The poverty god, as the English dub goes by, you know, she's hilarious. She's absolutely genius. I love her. And
but so it's our main character too. Like
yeah. But the dynamics between the two are brilliant. The sad fact is this didn't get a second season, even though they wanted it to. I really wish it did. So, right. Who wants to go?
Thaylien, because I'm going.
Same logic.
Next. Yeah.
Are you going next?
Yeah.
So same logic. Nasuth, you're up.
What?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, right. No, you're right. You're right. No, you are right. You are right. Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking. So I also gave this an acquired taste, if only because you have to be okay with sort of that sitcom comedy thing to begin with, and you also have to be okay with the occasional or not so occasional fourth wall break. But like, if it weren't for those things, it would be a must watch, like 100%.
You don't like the fourth wall breaking?
No, I love the fourth wall breaking.
Okay.
But I don't know if, so for the general audience, right? So for me, it's a must watch, but for the general audience, it's probably an acquired taste because they may not appreciate that sort of thing. I thought the poverty goddess was great. I thought the main character's motivations were surprisingly kind of like pure. She wanted to use her in the first episode. She wanted to use her extracted luck to heal her her caretaker, her butler or whatever he is. Yeah. And then she fired him.
But
So
she was entirely happy getting most of that luck back to herself by her natural absorption.
Well, sure, yeah. Sure,
she was fine with that as well.
Sure, yeah. Because, well, I mean, it did its job. But, yeah, I love the way that the art style isn't afraid to change depending for the gags. Like this one, yeah, this is actually the same girl that you see, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
it
this is the same girl with the big old tickle bitties. And yeah, like they do this sort of thing all the time. There was, I think it was the call with Xeno when the poverty goddess changed to like a really old guy like a professor type person explaining things, and the girl and the doll were in the background like with a microphone. Like, what is going on here? It's hilarious.
So one of my favorite things, so we have effectively the three characters in question. So the girl there with the JoJo-esque girl with the pink hair, she is basically the new transfer student. She gets roped into some shenanigans before she meets our main female protagonist, the one in are those sweatpants? I don't know, the shorts, right?
Shorts.
Yeah, the short shorts. So shenanigans ensue. She's a transfer student. She ends up going to the front of the class. She does the introduction and everything. And in order so that the new girl doesn't recognize our main protagonist, she starts pulling a face and ends up looking like Kentaro from Fist of the North Star.
That's what that screenshot is. Okay.
Yes, it's Fist of the North Star. And then basically the poverty god also goes like, well, two could play at that game. And then she starts doing it as well. And then literally it starts spreading through the class as if it's a disease. And everyone is slowly changing. It's like, what's going on? Everyone's just pulling Kinshiro. It's hilarious. This is why I love it. This is why it's so funny.
Oh, and they keep like one-upping each other in terms of like she's trying to get the luck and she's trying to keep the luck and get her out of her life, and they just keep going back and forth, and it's so good. But like it doesn't feel stale. Like nothing in it feels stale. And every time I think it's gonna fall into its the typical anime sitcom slice of life tropes, it's like, nope, no, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do this instead. And it's like anyway, Thaylien.
Yeah.
Well, oh god, it's a show that opens super seriously, and then the goddess starts complaining about the size of the main character's breasts. So the tone flip is immediate, and Ichiko's as a fantastic love to hate her character, and with that bit of human loneliness to her, that just enough to make the audience realise that she's a deeper character at the start, and so they'll enjoy watching her a bit more. While Momiji is it's like she's been inspired by all of the sarcastic comedy scenes that Jim Carrey has ever done. It's any comedy that Jim Carrey's in, there is some element of it in this.
Yeah,
that's a very good way to put it. Yeah,
so it's like, oh, righty then, and march to the window, throw it open, and do something. It's
I kind of want to.
I could explain, but I'm going to put myself on TV and get that to explain to you instead. It's just.
I kind of want to go back and watch it in Japanese, because there's like a lot of references, a lot of cultural references that I'm sure are localized to English. But they do such a good job with that.
What? I have to ask, what is it about anime where the main character suplexes somebody in the first episode that just makes me want to enjoy them? It's got plenty of fan service and so many other references to series and things.
The fan service isn't really as heavy as you'd think it is.
Surprisingly not. It's mostly in the end credits.
Yeah.
Which, if you're speedrunning through the episodes, you don't really watch, but I ended up watching one just to see what it was like. And there's a lot. Still, the one thing I did find myself actually really enjoying, wanted to go back and look for, is the Onadeshiko section of it, where there's a minor character called Nadeshko that has main character hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So they put a little thing after the credits of Oh Nadeshko, where it actually basically says, "Oh look, I got screen time here, here,
Oh,
here,
yes,
and here," and she's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
little tiny like in the background of shots. There she is, or like in a shop walking up the aisle the other way, out of camera.
Yeah.
That's her. That's saying, yeah, my popularity is increasing, my screen time's increasing. I'm going on a roll here this episode. The end of the show just cuts her off.
It's great. I love it. So my question to you is, do either of you intend,
Yes.
not necessarily like, you know,
Yes.
I've still got the tab open.
so you still want to continue watching it?
I have all of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe we should just do it like a
Yep.
marathon one night.
Sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Do you have any other following points, or should we move on to the next one?
No, let's find one of
Okay.
Naza's other picks.
Okay.
Right.
Go on, Nasuth.
So, let's talk about Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay.
Now, as I
I would
understand
love to, but I failed you.
Thaylien didn't watch it,
I
unfortunately.
failed you.
It's okay though, and I think Xeno only watched an episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, I remembered, like, I think I was setting up the memes, like, oh shit, I've only watched one episode of this. Damn it.
Yeah, so we're not going to be able to talk too much about it, but so again, what drew me to this is that I'm an artsy fartsy prima donna type person who just goes all in for this sort of thing. I think it's a really interesting retelling of the Count of Monte Cristo. I think making it a space opera was a bold choice, but like a really interesting, a really neat one. I love the art style. It's very non-traditional, but I think it really works. The animation's great. The special effects are beautiful. I don't really know.
So
what
where
else to
would
say
you
about
rate
it.
this?
Oh god, it's a must-watch. 100%.
You're right. You're rating as a must-watch. Okay.
Oh yeah. Because it's got that classic literature feel, but with like an interesting, super amazing twist on it.
Okay. Shall I just jump straight into it then?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell me what you think.
Okay, cool.
of
Right.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's an acquired taste to nothing special, right?
Okay.
I'm more happily in acquired taste than nothing special. Because I think we all did English dubs of all the stuff in this this round, because A, we're pressed on time, and B, being able to do two things at once was great. The voice acting, I think, was fantastic. The true respect to the original source material, I completely tip my cap at. I wasn't a fan of the fact that it starts the narrative partway through the original. It doesn't give you any of the background of who the Count of Monte Cristo is, which you develop in...
You do get that later.
Right, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
But it's like... So the first episode, of course, I'm only basing this on the first episode.
Yeah.
I could easily solidify my response if I'd watched more. The problem was that there were so many references. Characters were acting natural to each other, but because this is the first time you're encountering the characters, you're like, well, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is that? What's the relationship going on here? What does this matter? What does that matter? You obviously know that the two characters on the screen right now, they are friends because of how much time they spend to each other and how familiar they are with each other. But then there's this infatuation with the Count. Like, who is this mysterious individual? There's, even rumor that the Count is a vampire. And, so it's really interesting. The art style, I think at the time when this initially came out, would have blown people's minds. But to me, it makes it difficult to understand what is foreground and what is background, because the background is just as complicated as some of the fancy clothes on the foreground.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough, yeah.
I mean, it's, again, not the end of the world. I ended up watching it with someone else, so we can see like the very colorful patterning on her hair. Right now, as the person would move, the pattern wouldn't. So it was a case of like the pattern would shift as their hair moved. Right?
It's almost like her hair is a cutout on a layer beneath her, and as she moves,
like on a green screen and things like that. Yes. Now, personally,
that's a popular technique though for a lot of animes where it's they use that for tartan skirts and things.
Yeah. So. Now, personally, I don't have that big an issue with it because I have, again, as Thaylien says, it is a popular technique on a lot of other stuff. And though this was used, I would say, in excess, right? It was fine for me, but I can appreciate that some people would struggle with that. I am keen to keep watching this.
Ooh.
I do like to see. I would like to see. I really like the original telling of the Count of Monte Cristo. I can't remember what version I had previously watched. I'm pretty sure I watched a series of it, and again, I thought it was a fantastic story. It was a lovely story, but I wanted to say something that I think is a spoiler, but at the same time, if people want to go watch it, I don't want to spoil it for them. So
let's spoil this 100-year-old. I don't know. When was Count of Monte Cristo written? 100 years? 150?
It doesn't matter, right? Yeah. The point is that if people do want to,
that's fair. That's fair.
But the first episode gives you a lot of setup for the Count. You get a lot of feeling for who the Count is, what his motivations are, what his machinations are. He even actually says, like, my revenge has finally begun, right? So he's after something. But unfortunately, all the other characters, you're like, who the fuck are these people, right? That's I would say, the strongest failing. And I think the reason why it's only a failing is because they've started the story halfway through. And I imagine, as you've already indicated, they're going to do a flashback. So I think this has a lot of potential. I think it's lived up to time and quite easily a classic. Oh God,
just look at that.
But I think that's not actually part of the series, is it? That's just
I think that's promo art.
Promotional art.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, so that's where I stand on it. I don't know.
I'm really glad to hear you want to see more.
Yep. Okay.
Thaylien, just based on his description of it, what do you think? Do you want to eventually check it out?
I'm disappointed that I actually missed it this time around because I wanted to watch it when you guys first brought it up as a show to watch on earlier episodes of Kanpai Cast, and time being what it is, I wish I could have got to watch it because it does sound like a lot of fun. I really wanted to, so I just ran out of time.
Yep. There's always
it is the curse of life.
Yeah.
Right. Next one.
Thaylien, yeah.
I think I'm going to go with the fun one, which is Those Who Hunt Elves. Now, this show, again, it's one of those ones I found while looking for new anime and finding all these ones from the early 90s and early 2000s.
This was 96?
Yeah. Yes, and so ones that really were still trying to figure out what anime could be, and it's just downright silly. It's three people and a cat, a tank. It's three people and a
dog
tank. What? A tank?
No, but yeah, the dog does join.
Yes,
them
after the second episode, the dog turns.
Yeah, so three people and a tank isekai'd into a fantasy world.
Okay.
And they're supposed to save the kingdom, but they want to go home, and the spell to send them home is scattered by their arrival, and it imprinted on the bodies of 3 specific elves.
5
in the world, and they're task is to go off and basically strip an elf and to see if they've got a spell fragment on their skin.
And it's all their fault that the spell got scattered in the first place because they interrupted her. Yeah.
Yep. So it's a kind of it's a ridiculous setup for a ridiculous show, and the characters are just as ridiculous as well. But the hot-headed muscle man, the full-on acting expert, leading female, who constantly is a bit of a lady killer in herself, and then the geeky girl with a tank, which and the tank eventually gets possessed by the spirit of a dog, which you can't predict where this show was going from its opening or from from where its setting started out, and it doesn't slow down. It just keeps going with this idea of no, everywhere we go, we're going to solve problems and strip elves. It's so honest and to the point with what it's doing that it's remained one of my favorites to the day. But then again, I would in fact rate it only as I still would rate this as a nothing special in terms of isekai, because you would have to be really deep into the isekai genre before you actually even found this, and so it's not something people would normally seek out. And when you do, there are lots of better shows out there. So, I mean, what do you guys think?
It's me first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I agree with pretty much everything you've said. I would say that this is a nothing special, and the only thing that really blocks it from an acquired taste is within the first 3 episodes, you get next to no time with the geeky tank girl. You don't know what her motivations are. She's sidelined so heavily, which really sucks. And you don't understand how these characters came to be here, only that they want to go home. Now, that may be enough motivation. That might be enough screen direction to capture most audiences, but I feel just having, maybe in the intro alone, in the intro sequence, you see the 3 of them, and they just get transported away. The big thing for me is how the fuck do they get the tank?
Yeah.
I can't not ask the question. They've got a tank. They've got a sniper rifle. I think it's a sniper rifle. It might be just a regular fully auto rifle, but
people just had tanks in '96. All right, that's just a thing.
Clearly. I mean, the actress's garb. I don't understand why she's got these giant pauldrons and the cape.
Thank you for being a censor bar again, Nasuth.
Yeah.
What?
Nasuth being a censor bar.
Yeah, because she's naked right there.
Oh no, but I will. Speaking of censor bars, right? Because I watched the English dub of this, for some strange reason, the censorship would just occasionally zoom in the shot on top of an existing shot, right? Hopefully a screenshot of that will appear.
Just to crop out anything.
On the very edge of the screen. Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
Just to crop out what's on the very edge.
I know.
Why?
I know.
Really
It's
don't.
They knew exactly what they were trying to do. They just poorly executed.
Yeah, I was just like, but the thing is, you get to see like these positions of like, there is this about as atomically correct as a Barbie doll elf on display, and like, so why did you crop the previous shot? I don't understand. It's like, oh, but that one's got a butt crack, and a butt crack is worse than okay.
If there are no nipples, it's fine. All right.
Let's be fair. Remember the censorship episode we actually did? And that one, we pointed out that in many shows, little things just go missing, that they rotoscope out.
This is it. Look at that black border.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And one of the things that like vanished was, I think it's in Naruto, where one of the girls wears a skirt and a shorter top.
Yeah.
Right? And she's got the lines for her hip bones, and those go missing in the English dub because it's like, oh no, it should be absolutely smooth. Otherwise, the idea of hips will inflame the desires of men.
Oh my god. Anyway,
So
it's interesting. Don't get me wrong. It's an interesting series. I kind of want to. I do want to see it more of it, but there's still other series that I'd rather put forward before this. I think it has a very Tenchi Muyo-esque attitude towards
kind of era, isn't it?
Yeah,
the attitude towards women.
You know, well, not just women, but also like the humor.
Yes.
Yeah. That's basically it in a nutshell. I think that there are some things that they could do better. You know, like the third episode where our blockhead of a male protagonist here, he wears a shirt, only this one episode, that has a skull on it. And that means he's part of a gang. It's just like, of course, the stereotypical one time that he wears this one shirt, never to be worn again. And like, I think it's a case of like, well, that's just a victim of the era that it came out in. But you know, yeah, there you go. It's nothing special.
But the point of it was that he wasn't part of a gang, but the people there thought he was.
But how often is that a trope in most shows? Where it's just like, you know, the one time you happen to do it, oh, coinky dink, it's something bad, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's, and again, as I said, it's an era of, it's a victim of the era it was made. You know, that's the sort of shenanigans that you will see happen. So, but yeah, right.
It's like the one time you wear a T-shirt about high-fives. Is the one time you'll run into an anti-neo-Nazi convention.
What?
That's a little extreme, but
it's also from a real. That's also from a real experience.
Okay.
I'm confused, but anyway. So I gave this a pass, but I think 14-year-old me probably would have loved it. So it does have that going for it. So it's like a lot of this is me looking back on anime now because it's hard to not. I felt like this came out in 96, but the animation quality felt like 92. I thought it felt very, very cheap in a lot of cases, very like really bare bones. That was hard for me to. The dub is typical of the era. It starts out really, really rough. It starts to get a little better when they start adding their own jokes and such. I actually kind of watched
localization, getting a bit better.
Yeah. I actually kind of watched these out of order. I didn't realize it. I watched it I think 2, 3, 1, but it didn't really make a difference in terms of making it make sense why they were there. I don't think they even said anywhere that they were supposed to be saving the kingdom. It's just that they want to go home. And they're trying to find these elves. So I don't know how they got there. I don't know how they were together. Did they pull them from different areas of the world and just put them in one place? Were they together in the regular world? It's like I don't know.
But obviously,
it's very, very zany.
As we said, 96 people are out walking their pet tanks.
That's true. Yeah. Somewhere between Slayers and Project Echo, I'd say, is in terms of humor. Granted, it was probably one of the really early isekais, so it's got that going for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, next one.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to do the individual ones. So, Nasuth first with Love After World Domination. So to quickly highlight this one, I really enjoy this series. This is one of my favorites, mostly because it is the Romeo and Juliet's telling of Power Rangers, where you've got the Red Ranger and the first henchman, effectively Goldar, but a girl, or Gildar, I like that, and that they have fallen in love with each other, and they're trying to see each other during their hobby, their job, their whatever you want to call this, while at the same time still putting on the front that they're mortal enemies, but secretly they are romantically involved. So I love it. I thought it was brilliant. Nasuth.
So this is definitely a must-watch. I mean, if it makes me watch a romantic comedy, it's got to have something pretty special going for it.
Yep.
The humor is really good. It's not just your typical sort of shenanigans. I loved the bit where he snuck into the base and they kept trying to like barge into her room or make phone calls or stuff, and they had to keep hiding. She had to keep hiding him. That was like what? Maybe it's just that I haven't seen a lot of other romantic comedies in anime, but that felt kind of a little different.
Yeah.
I love the way that they keep fighting with each other. Like, oh, we're about to hold hands. Oh no, we must now fight. And it's oh gosh, what else did I say? Oh, I thought it was a little weird at first that this woman who's supposed to be an evil overlord type person who is no doubt out to hurt people gets all wibbly wobbly over a boy, but then I realized she's not actually good at her job because she's an anime villain, so she's the type that always fails at her job. Therefore, it's fine for her to get involved with it like this. It's fine. Jeez, what else?
Do you intend to keep watching it?
Oh God, yeah, 100%. Yeah. The dub is actually really good, although the woman is also voiced by, she has a really distinctive voice, so it's every time I hear her, it's like, yes, that person. It's the redhead, I can't remember her name, from Mashoka Tensei.
Oh, what, Eris?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So every time I hear her voice, there was a woman like that in the
Really?
90s too. Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine Desiree sounding like Eris at all.
Yeah.
In the English dub. Right, okay. I'll have to give the English dub a go.
It's not bad though, honestly. It's really not bad.
Dub watches.
Yeah, well,
What are you talking about? You've been watching the dubs.
A little bit.
Okay.
That's how I know.
Thaylien, do you want to add anything to this? Because you've already watched it.
No, I did. I love the show. Everything was. I think what saves it for me in terms of the comedy side of things is the over the top silliness they have to do to get away with things.
Yeah.
So it's like what you said about, oh no, we were about to hold hands, but now we've got to fight, and so they do the bit smash into each other's hands and roar to power up as and all the other.
But it also means they got to actually hold hands.
Oh yeah, they did. All the other Rangers are like climbing up a cliff to have a look at what's going on. And, oh my God, the power! Look at the intensity.
Yeah.
I'll leave this to you.
It's just so over the top, and that's what gets it. That's the little flourish that this kind of thing needed.
Not really a whole lot of fan service either. I mean, her outfit, obviously,
really,
but I don't really count that because
that's the same on most all Sentai Ranger kind of things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Shall we swap over to Thaylien for Ranger Bahamut?
Alrighty, we shall swap over to Ranger Bahamut. Why did you recommend this to me, Xeno?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's a brilliant series. It's a brilliant fantasy series. I love the duality of the narrative. It's very Tolkien-inspired Lord of the Rings, not necessarily directly from Tolkien, but the whole point is that you got the greater world events and then the events of our motley gang of misfits, right? So it's a lovely way of storytelling that a lot of shows will either not do or just take way too far, especially out in the West, right? So, I remember Loz recommending me Rage of Bahamut to the point of I watched one episode and literally did not sleep that night. I just watched the whole thing and then went to bed at stupid o'clock in the morning. So
I've still got the tab open.
It's an absolutely fantastic series, but keep going.
So, just from these three, I'm gonna give it a must-watch on that as well. I had the overwhelming thought on the end of the first episode was, he shot the horse. It's a good showing by Mappa. I've heard that the previous, or was it the previous series from this game?
Oh man,
the Rage of Bahamut is a game. Was actually a bit of a dud. And
this Rage of Bahamut is the first one. Virgin Soul is the sequel.
Yeah,
yes.
This is Genesis.
Rage of Bahamut, the game, something about it didn't do well, but then suddenly it had this, in the same way that Cyberpunk as a game wasn't doing so well as a video game, but suddenly the series came out and everybody flocked back to the game because of it. It's that kind of transformation, as it were. It's got great animations, great scene setting on the first episode with the Pirates of the Caribbean style, water wheel run. Casual nudity by the female lead. Within the first 10 minutes, it's all laid out as how this show's going to go, and I love it. The main characters are fun. You can see it's going to be some, ridiculous form of found family kind of situation. But they haven't managed to get that far in the first 3 episodes. Armour is cute. Favreau is another of these love to hate them characters. He's a genuine dick, and
but by the end,
I can't help but appreciate him for it. And then Kaiser's a stuck-up dweeb. Even the surprise 4th character is fun. They've done well with all of them, and. My only other note I made is I think Amara actually got off on the Knight's Enchantment. I can't be sure, but I'm willing to double check. It's a fun ride, and I'm coming back for more.
Awesome. Nasuth?
Definitely worth the thing.
Yeah. So very, very briefly, imagine Attack on Titan in terms of technology level and grand epic scope, but actually fun.
He's holding an auto bow right there,
and makes sense. And there you
I kind of feel like you're just gonna go, but good.
But that's what I said. Good and makes sense and fun. And yeah. That's it. That's all I need to say about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right, go on, Nasuth.
One other small thing. I'll add. The characters actually grow over the course of the series, which is really nice and refreshing to see, because so many don't. Right. So the last one I have is Summertime Rendering, which is it's still a must watch. I want to go back and rewatch this with the English dub now that it's out, because I loved. I thought the time travel aspect of it made sense and worked, which is also really rare for time travel. I thought the characters felt very realistic and interesting and vibrant. The relationships between Shinpei and Mio and that whole family, it makes sense. They slowly introduce you to the history of the area and the people who live there and how he came to live with this family in a really natural and fluid way. The whole mystery aspect, they get you right off the start with it, and every time through the series that you think you know where it's going, it surprises you, but not in an unnatural way. Like it's not like, oh, we're gonna subvert your expectations, we're gonna go in a completely different direction. No, it actually makes sense when you think back on it. It's like, oh, so that's why. Oh, so it's that sort of thing. Yeah, just really, and the animation's great, the action's good, the motivations of the characters make sense. It's yeah. You didn't actually watch any of this, did you?
Again, it's one I didn't have enough time for, but I do remember back when you were watching it and doing the reviews, I actually looked it up, and so I do know a little bit about it, and I have had all the positive reviews from other people as well. So it wasn't high on the priority list compared to getting as many shows done as I could. But
yes, it also gets very Lovecraftian very early.
Yes, that was the thing that I've heard about it. The relationships, the actual way it does this existential dread of the show. That time looping is not always a benefit. There's actual cost to it every time. Yeah. Even if it's not immediately apparent in some cases. I like the concept behind this, and the it's rare that we actually get a time looping show that actually doesn't immediately become, oh, well, the answer is that he has to do X, Y, and Z. It's why I couldn't get behind ReZero, because the answers were always that, you just do something a little bit different this time round. But no, you can't in summertime rendering. You can't.
Well, even if you do, it can have unexpected consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just doing things differently doesn't achieve the results that you think it would.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's an impressive one where I think this was an actual show written by smart people. That's not just people who liked the concept.
So, for me, this is categorically a must-watch.
Yes!
Right? I watched 3 episodes, and I nearly forsook the rest of what I had to do, the rest of my homework, just to keep watching it. I'm not kidding, right?
It makes me so happy.
I do agree with Thaylien. This is a better time travel series than ReZero by far, right? I do not necessarily think that this is a better time travel series than Steins Gate, but time will tell with that. No pun intended. Sorry, I just realized. Yeah. I do think that this has an extremely large amount of potential, and it's already proven a lot of its own character, its own world building, its own setting from the first 3 episodes. One of the most impressive things is, I suppose, in effect, the butterfly effect. One minor change makes such massive differences to later events, which, I have seen just from the 2 loops that our main protagonist has done. He's very cautious, very clever, very cunning on how he goes about and does things.
But not like written smart, but not actually smart. He's written the writing for his smartness to actually make sense.
What was the series that we watched? Inspector recently, and it's just like, this is a smart character written by a smart person. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
I can't profess that our main protagonist here is a smart character, but he does smart things. Right, he doesn't just outwardly.
That's the thing. That's what really impressed me about what I have seen of the show, which is that the character isn't smart, but the show writer is.
Yeah.
And so you've got this contrast between a character that's trying to understand something that somebody cleverer than him has done.
Yes.
I love that concept.
Yeah. So it works really, really well. And it's explained, I think, by episode 2 or 3, so it's not a massive spoiler, But it turns out that the antagonists appear to also have the same time loop power. So, so it's a case of like,
that's what makes it so good and fresh between them is that every move he makes, they can make a counter move.
Yes. So I can very easily see this being an excellent series, and there's more of them than there are of him. So yeah. So genuinely, I was very impressed, and I nearly went like, "Fuck watching the rest of this show. I'm just gonna watch this one," because this was actually the first one I started with. So that was a mistake. Yeah, but honestly, this is a brilliant series, and to be honest, the thing that saddens me the most about Summertime Rendering was the fact that it was caught in Disney jail, right? The fact that it was I think that was potentially just in Japan, right? But basically, it just made it so that the West couldn't get it until it was licensed by someone else later on. I don't know what platforms it's available on.
Hulu. It's on Hulu. And I believe also Disney Plus.
Right, okay. So, just Disney Plus and Disney Plus. So,
but
it's just crazy how this has happened. Just like, I'm getting so sick of this argument of like, well, what platform should I be watching stuff on? Yeah. Anyway, but that's my take on it. It's a brilliant series and everyone should go see it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then we're on to Thaylien.
My last one, because I did find that third one for you guys that neither of you had watched, which is Najica Blitz Tactics. And it's a pass. I know it's a pass. Okay. I know it. But it's one of these shows from back when I was doing this. It's just like mainstream anime in the sense that you have to watch these things, otherwise you won't know how bad some things can be. And so in general, Najica Blitz Tactics is supposed to be one of these takes on what would happen if you actually invented actual artificial intelligence and gave them to people that were the wrong kind of people, making actual, super soldiers, or making small girls that could be super soldiers. It's a weird take on it. So in the actual story, Najica Hiragi, I think she is, she's actually by day a perfume designer for CRI Cosmetics, and by night she's the Intelligence Bureau's agent, and it's the CRI intelligence agency, which is so secret not even the vast majority of the public knows it even exists. She goes on a mission to recover one of these androids. They call them humorids. Her codename is Triple Z, and referred to as Leela.
This one the one that was just on screen.
No, the small girl with the purple hair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can see the side of her head, and outward appearance of early tweens, young teen girl, maybe 14.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and she's so she rescues this girl, and she becomes a bit suspicious of her network because she's being contracted to recover more and more of these humorids that have been somehow got into the hands of criminals, revolutionaries, guerrillas, or terrorist groups. And when Leela is actually assigned as her partner, even though I work alone, she's like the anime versions of a hard-bitten detective that's lost a partner at some point and just wants to work alone. Weird. And even though Leela isn't a very good AI, has no social grace, she actually has a a bit of a personality, and Najica begins to like her and trust her. So the series has her going off to all these different places to try and recover humorids or destroy them. And it's a really weird way of doing it. All the animation seems to be not quite there, a little bit disjointed, and it tries to do the action, and it's more interested in the panty shots. So,
always never.
Yeah, I appreciate this for what it is. It's the lesson I had to learn about anime. And I still have the box set over there in a cupboard. I have not taken it out in. Well, the last time I took it out was when I had to move house, and before that, when I had to move house the last time. So it hasn't been watched in more than a decade.
So this is your Eyes of Mars.
Yes, this is my Eyes of Mars. If you want to put it that way. And I did kind of like the way the series ends, which I doubt either of you managed to get to.
No.
But I don't think you care about spoilers either, do you?
Oh, no.
So it ends up with them actually facing down against more gynoids or more humorids with like codenames like the Triple X, who is like trying to target a military satellite to bomb the Earth with it, and convincing them somehow to become good people. But Najica never really changes her mind on the idea that these humorids aren't actually people. And so at the end of the series, she squares off against Leela in a like silent Shinji versus
Endo?
What's his name? When he's got him in his hand and his Ava.
Oh,
this long, slow Kaoru, yeah. It's got a, and they're doing a stare down. They do the holding the guns on each other for far too long, and eventually shoot each other. And Najica's the one that survives. So, all of the internal debate inside her head, it doesn't seem to have amounted to anything because she still shot her partner. And the last scene of the show is her right there on the beach, taking a vacation. She comes to terms with the deaths of Leela and the other humorids that actually showed some good nature and compassion. So, I'm not sure what it was trying to be as a series. It kind of failed at all angles. But, hey, go on, hit me with yours. What do you think of it?
Sorry, when you said it failed at all angles, like all the panty shot angles.
No, it nailed
them.
Okay.
They weren't even good panty shots.
No, they really weren't. Right, okay. Sorry, okay. Just gonna point this out, right? Thaylien, if you hate on the Guyver, I'm not gonna hold it against you. Right? I'm really not, okay? I'm sorry, this was again another dumpster fire for me. I feel like I suffered through the 3 episodes. Like, I had to go through and get screenshots. Seriously, trying to find shots that were safe was so difficult. Right? They're like, oh look, another panty shot.
Or another naked Leela, or...
But even the naked Leela wasn't as bad as, oh yeah, I am now going to do a...
Machine gun bikini on a
roll.
plane, come on.
No, I'm going to do a roll. Well, the thing is, it's a bikini, right? It's fine. But I'm going to, in my, tuxedo / mini skirt, I'm going to do a roll into a prone position and spread my legs out so you can see between my legs. I'm like, for the love of God, I'm not kidding,
it's an incredibly stable firing position.
Right. I do get that, right? But you don't need to put the camera right between the legs of the crotch.
To get these angles in a lot of cases.
It really fucking does. I at some point, someone has to have turned around and said, you know what? You're doing a lot of military-based combat. You know, when you're doing sneaking and things, maybe a tuxedo with a miniskirt is not the best for you to wear. Maybe you should just wear a cat suit, right? She wears it in the first episode for a training thing. It's like, I thought, oh, she'll just wear that. Nope, she didn't wear that at all. It's just gotta make sure you get those panties in there. Oh my god. Like, I actually turned to Nasuth and I said, I'm pretty sure this has more panty shots in it than High School Double D has topless scenes. Right?
I mean literally every other frame, I swear. Right? It's not every other frame. But no, it's every frame. Right?
It's at least one cut out of every single scene.
Yes.
Right? But
it's like every other cut, really.
The most questionable thing though, right? And I can't speak on behalf of the original Japanese audio. The English dub.
It's not good.
Was the stage direction, see this plank of wood, imitate this plank of wood, because the lines delivery was so bland. Like there was like I'm very upset right now.
It's hentai actors attempting to sound serious.
Yeah, it is.
Why did you give this to us?
As I said, because it's a similar thing to the moment Nasuth said he was giving you eyes. I thought, yeah, Najica.
He wanted to hurt us as much as I hurt you guys.
Yes.
I hate you. I hate you, Nasuth. You're the one who started. Every episode, right? Every episode, I had to take a break watching. I got halfway through and I had to take a break. I'm sorry, Thaylien, but
don't be.
This hurt me. This hurt me too much.
This is what he wants.
Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. But again, this is one of my out there favorites because of how it's a pass or a 5-star poop.
Okay. Oh my god, it was a flaming dumpster fire.
Yes.
New rating, right?
I can't even properly rate this because I don't even know. Okay, I was expecting something kind of like, a femme fatale Lupin sort of character, so, getting into weird sort of spy mercenary shenanigans, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. And then I kept asking myself, when does the hentai start? When why? I felt like some of the money they spent on those panty shots could have been better spent on like some of the face work, like in the action scene in the first episode with the maids. All the maids' faces are just weird, like very uncanny valley.
Can I just highlight? So in the first mission, Najica's infiltrated this mansion. Loads of maids everywhere, right? All wearing miniskirts.
Armed maids. I love the armed maids. I'm sorry.
And they whip their guns out of I don't know where. I swear,
literally,
were they hiding
reach
those?
underneath. Right, they were reaching submachine guns. Right
under their miniskirts.
I think they're like is it temp 5s or temp 10? I can't remember.
Whatever.
TMPs or but they whip them out from their miniskirts. Like, where were you hiding that?
It's called
Dimensional Hammer. Weather boy.
It's called Dimensional Hammer Space. It's where or Dimensional Mallet Space. Sorry, it's where the girls always get their giant mallets.
Yeah.
It's
where Amy Rose keeps hers, and where what's her name?
Yeah, exactly.
Scott Pilgrim. His girlfriend gets hers. It's literally called Hammer Space.
Yep. Anyway, so what else was there? So I felt like the show was kind of clever in some cases. Like it managed to do some interesting things, but then it was just like, but it's all ruined by panty shots everywhere. It stops being special It stops being special when every other shot is like, I'm going to show you some underwear. I'm going to show you some underwear. I'm going to show you a naked girl. By the time that happened, it was like, okay, but I've already seen this a billion times. I don't care. It has no impact on me that this girl is resting in some kind of weird liquid that clearly means she's really not normal. Like, that should have had a huge impact. No, it's just more boobies, just more butts.
This feels like the love child. This is the love child work of the author and the director and the animation team, all loving panties. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't think,
doesn't really, but
I don't think at any point in time, if any one aspect of this, team didn't love panties, we wouldn't have Najica Blitz tactics the way it is now. I mean, it's the only explanation.
Even the English voice actors.
The animation team, the director, and the script had no arguments over how many panty shots were too many.
Oh my god! I can't even. Can we move on? Are you guys good to move on?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so my last one is the 2005 Guyver Bioboosted Armour. It is my favorite series of all, and to me it's a must watch, right? The biggest draw to this is the fact that it's not Najica Blitz tactic. Just can't get it out of my head. Right? The biggest draw to this is that effectively it's Kamen Rider, where it's a bioweapon as opposed to just some magical suit of armor, and it's very heavily rooted in sci-fi, along with basically the bad guys are literally fucking everywhere. That's my biggest draw to the series. I love that grandiose machinations. I love how true to the original the 2005 one was, while at the same time kind of ignoring some of the dumb shit from the manga.
Yeah.
So I don't want to actually talk about any of that stuff because I don't know if these two actually intend to continue watching. I think Nasuth is.
I do.
But so I don't want to talk about that because it's a bit spoilery. But yes, that's my take on it. Go.
I think this is the last show we're discussing today, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Okay, so my take is it's exactly what I was expecting. It's a classic story of boy meets biotic armor device, boy kills bio monster man, shenanigans ensue. I'm really not sure what all the hype was about,
Yeah.
No, although I will admit, in episode 2, the Guyver titty drop was quite good.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I can't remember what Nasuth called it either. It was just like...
I think I made a more clever joke, but I don't remember what it was now.
You did. I'd never heard it before.
Nasuth made a more clever joke. But the titty beam was real. I'm impressed. Yeah, it's the nice jelly-like ball.
There's one. I think it was. There's a time in every Guyver's life when there's a time in every Guyver's life when a young girl when Guyver becomes a woman or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. When a Guyver becomes a Gilver.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure why Xeno ever thought I was actually going to be against this show overall, because, well, no, actually I do know, because I've always teased him about it. But I don't mind shows like Guyver, and I actually semi-enjoyed the original when it was out. So I liked this version a lot more. I probably will continue it when I have time, but there's a lot of shows on my plate now.
The English dub also isn't terrible.
Yes, the English dub wasn't terrible.
That's being polite. I'm sorry, you guys are talking Scottish Zoonoid. Scottish fucking Zoonoid.
All right, yes, not Sean Connery Zoonoid, but that's funny.
I found that hilarious.
Yeah,
I found that funny. It was almost like Monster of the Week kind of vibes, which, it was clear from the moment that he appeared that he wasn't going to survive. And it's like, yes, thank you for killing the bad Scottish accent.
Yeah.
So, no, for what it is, this scene was quite good because of the way that they did the thing. Our poor boy there thinks he's being followed all the time. Turns out he was, because of course, as you said, the enemy's everywhere.
Yep.
But these inspectors came up to him and asked him questions, and he just believed they were police detectives.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't in that particular case?
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect people investigating the crime, the scene, to be investigators for the bad guys. No, you'd expect to get attacked by the bad guys, and police investigators would come and question you.
Yeah.
So when they drive him and our main character off to the warehouse, like, wait, something's off here. So, what about? Aren't you police detectives? We never said that.
Yeah.
And it's that simple reveal. It's that beginning of the way that it's like, yeah, enemy is everywhere. We can come at you from any angle, from any source. You probably shouldn't trust anybody, but it's them slowly beginning to realize that.
Well, it's even worse than just the enemy is everywhere. The enemy is in his own home, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know that the enemy is in his own home, and his dad doesn't know that. Sorry, I just gave it away. Not that it really matters because you find it out in the first 3 episodes.
No.
From the first episode, you see that there's only 2 people in his home.
That's Nasuth. That's way later. It's not how you think it is. So
no, but I assume it's going to build towards something. Like neither of them know what's going on, and it's going to build towards like some kind of confrontation or something.
So much worse. It is so much worse than you think.
Yeah, but even in just those 3 episodes, it's like the fact that there's this dynamic where neither of them know who the other one is. And yet they're both doing their own. They're both like doing their own thing. It's so cool to watch.
Yep. So yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I also thought it was a must watch. Like the animation is
good.
Give
it a quiet taste. I wouldn't put it up as a must watch, but that's only despite Xeno.
Of course.
My feels.
So I actually watched this with Xeno.
I will feel your offs in a bit.
But yeah, I thought it was a must watch. I love the bad guys having like they don't feel like oh, we're gonna have a zany idea and it's gonna fail. No, they actually feel like they're doing sinister things. Done between the father and son is building in a believable way. Great animation, great story so far. Everything that Thaylien said. Yeah. Honestly,
on a slight tangent, we can see the screenshot here, right? They're all wielding these guns, right? That was added exclusively for this series because they wanted to add in this sort of like red herring that they had these military weapons. They don't. They never use these guns. They don't exist. It's all the people, not the gun, and I thought that was hilarious.
It's all about the bioboosting.
Yep. Oh, it's so good. It's I love the idea of the bioweapon power suit too. It's so good. Like
exactly. Because it means if you adapt, it can actually listen to him and things.
I do hope that this. You know how, like, some series, like, okay, for example, not to pick on it, Attack on Titan, with its huge tonal shift with what it turned out to be, right? I am hoping that the tonal shift that is coming with the Guyver is not too, like, oh, really?
Oh, no, I'm sure I'll probably like it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I think we're done. Are we done? I feel we're done.
We're done.
Done.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're done with that. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Now it's time for supporter questions.
Because now.
Right. So moving on to the supporter questions. Xeno says, "Okay, Xeno, you got this. All I have to do is ask people to like and subscribe, and then read out Zrugel's question. I got this. Here we go. Please light and submarine, and enjoy your meal." Close enough.
Close.
Zrugal asks. Zrugal asks, are you the type of person who keeps your phone charged, or do you let it run nearly dead before charging?
I think technically the best for your battery life is to let it run down and then charge it. But I can't remember for sure. Yeah.
All the style.
I never did. I was charged. Yeah.
I have charger stations all around here. I've just made that really loud noise. I've got charger stations all around here that I just pop it straight down on. Whatever room I'm in, it means that I never have to worry about it for when I leave the house.
Does
so yours fully charged every time?
Does yours charge wirelessly?
Yes.
I don't know if mine does. I know my old Pixel 3a didn't have that functionality, but I don't know if my Pixel 6 does. But regardless, to be honest, I kind of let mine... I only charge mine at night, but that's because while I'm asleep, I have it make a fan noise to help me fall asleep. So I need to charge it at night, so yeah. But aside from that, I only charge it when I've been playing a game and like, oopsie doopsie, I need to charge my phone now. So,
most of the time you can make it through the day without having to charge it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to confirm, the like and subscribe function is not just for the videos, it's to help Xeno sleep, because the constant, yes, you can do it. It's apparently very restful.
Yes,
to
very
make fan
much so.
noises.
Right, Nasuth says, Nasuth without context asks, when you woke up yesterday, did you know you'd be watching an anime full of maids wielding machine guns and flashing the camera every 2 seconds? Did it make you feel funny inside? Made me feel dead inside. Like, I'm all for fan service, but like, I'm sorry. That's like too much.
There's a line.
Like there's a line, and like it may as well just be henty. I'm like, oh my god, just yeah. Anyway, and then Nasuth without context also asks, do you have any plans to visit the life-size Gundam on your trips to Japan? Yes, we are definitely doing that. And I think we got the dock tour ticket, which allows us to go up the actual frame and actually see it up close.
That's awesome.
We are totally going to see the RX-78-2.
Oh, you're going to see that one. So apparently, what I just realized, I found out is that there are 4. You'll see this in Kanpai news. So people have already
There's
heard this.
4?
Yeah, there are 4. One's in China, but the other 3 are in Japan.
So I know there's a Unicorn Gundam as well, which I think is at the Gundam factory.
Yes.
But I don't think that's a 1-to-1 scale. I don't know what the third one is.
Well, wait for Kanpai news. Or you and the viewers, you'll already know.
Well, I mean,
the viewers will see it.
If you missed it, go find out what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and Obscure Alcohol Brand also asks, will we get any presents from your trip?
Well, I mean, I was thinking of getting you something, but I don't know how the fuck I'd get Nasuth something. So,
Fair enough.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to see how it goes. Right, so, first from Kanpai News, Cynical No-Lock, in response to the story about the English dub of the Toriko Dragon Ball Z One Piece crossover, says, I've always liked Toriko over Dragon Ball, and the OG Dragon Ball is one of the first anime I've ever watched as a kid. To be honest, we didn't get...
watch it.
I tried.
No, I mean Toriko.
Oh, fair enough. I tried watching the original Dragon Ball,
Same.
but it just gets to a point with androids, and it's just like...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that started in Z. Right. Adam Knight, in response to the Kyokai Senki sequel spin-off, etc. Kyokai Senki, I believe they try to do more light-hearted and hopeful stories, but no people care about those kind of stuff. I guess they realize that that and just make new one like other mecha. I mean, it's possible.
It's too early to know, really, for sure.
I mean, to be fair, look at Witch from Mercury. I mean, that was very, like, not Gundam aligned, and then we had the last episode, and it was like, yep, that's Gundam!
Yep.
That's how you Gundam!
Yep.
Yep. Zrugal, in response to the Retro VR chat room, says, I need to find that VR chat room. What VR chat room? Oh shit, that VR chat room.
Yeah, that Retro
Yes.
VR chat room. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Right. And now the comments from last week's cast episode. So Zrugal says, tell me about another anime that I might like is why I love this show too. In response to Naz's question about the audience drinks, I usually have water, but today I have tea. If I could choose a show that to become mainstream, Venture Brothers, fight me.
I never would. I would love to have Venture Brothers be more mainstream.
Right.
I won't
as it
fight
keeps
you,
the same
but I will
quality.
side-eye you.
Right. Strongest Void Shell says, kind of surprised you guys didn't talk about Ghost in the Shell more.
That's
What was last week's episode?
It was the mainstream anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see
To be honest,
that.
I don't
can see
think I don't feel
The
yes, I
movie
do
was
feel,
incredibly mainstream.
Yeah.
It was, but
The
you also still have to
series
love
hasn't
cyberpunk.
I do feel
Yeah.
that Ghost of the Shell Standalone Complex 1 and 2, right? They were mainstream for the time, but they've kind of dropped off since. You know,
I'll agree with that statement, yes.
I think Bleach has more permanence than Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Kind of sad, right? Adam Knight left a very long but interesting response.
You want me to read it?
Do you want to read it, or do you want?
I took my glasses off.
Alrighty. So, what I want from anime adaptation is they appreciate the source materials, even though the animations are not great. What's great about the manga and why people love them. Also, well directing. Let's talk about people opinions. No action equals no story, / nothing happens / boring. Example, a lot of people say Demon Slayer is amazing. Meanwhile, it's just another shonen anime with amazing actions. The stories are simply and easy to watch. Every arc is just the similar stuffs. What people want versus what the show try to tell. Most of the time, we heard what people want. They're going to be disappointed and say the show is bad just because they don't get what they want. They don't try to understand what the show tried to tell. Example, people complain romance in My Dress Up Darling not go anyway, but the show is
I think they
more
meant
about
anywhere,
how passionate
but yeah.
they are with their hobbies. So I've tried to read this verbatim, it's fun.
Yeah.
Dumb opinion from non-fans. Example, unlike other mecha, this show is about characters. As mecha fan, those opinion is so annoying. Many mecha from the start is always about character. People always talk about 86, but to me, it's just another mecha. There are many mecha that done better than 86. Most mecha is original anime. Other reason 86 is popular, because it's LN. Light novel, I guess?
Light novel.
Yeah, light novel. Dark and edgy stories are more popular than light-hearted and hopeful stories, also slice of life anime. Many people complain about G-Witch.
Witch from Mercury.
Yes, because it's light-hearted tone. I actually disappointed with E.Y.E.S. It's actually good when I think it back, but I realise the topics they have is something most people don't care. I mean, most of the show we get lately are overpower main character, harem, waifu, romance, school. E.Y.E.S. also don't have those popular tropes, and many shows like this always been ignored.
Yeah,
I
agree with a lot of this.
That would have been exceptionally hard for Xeno to read.
Yes, it would have.
Lie, you're right. I do agree with the Demon Slayer stuff. I do actually like it. The stories are very simple and it's very well animated because it's very action oriented. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with the point of like, the My Dress Up Darling thing. I really enjoyed My Dress Up Darling for the will they, won't they, but as well as the hobby stuff. I love the hobby side of things.
I like the fact that My Dress Up Darling actually hasn't gone so much into the will they, won't they. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. I really liked 86. I see more 86 as like a strategic war story akin to Crest of the Stars than I see it as a mecha series. Because like as a mecha series, it's kind of mediocre, right? But as a war story with the strategy and the battle tactics and things, that's a lot more in par with what I like.
You could say that about Gundam too, though, couldn't you?
No, I think with Gundam it's more individual.
Yeah.
I
would put 86 is more. They're just a different type of tank. It's tank combat.
Yeah.
And so just slightly more maneuverable tanks than
That's fair.
than a mecha.
So, for example, you've got series like Girls and Panzer, right? Girls and Panzer is more in line with Gundam because it's about the small-scale battles. Gundam, you can have you got hundreds of mobile suits versus the Gundam, but it's the one Gundam.
Right. Yeah, okay, yeah.
As opposed to 86, which is you have platoons of people fighting these AI. So there's a lot of people that are not coming back, right? So that's the difference for me. But I get it. I wish there was more mecha stuff out. I really, really do. But people don't like war. And then
Gundam Witch.
I can't. Yeah, I agree with the comments of Gundam Witch. I love Witch and Mercury. I couldn't get into AIM. I really couldn't. I think the problem for me with that was there was no clear direction on what the team was trying to do. And I think as a first attempt at a different franchise by was it Sunrise Bandai? I can't remember.
Yes.
It's a good attempt, don't get me wrong, but it's not a patch on any of the Gundams. But I'm tired of all the OP characters. Harems are really minimal. Waifus, yes, there's more than plenty of those.
Oh,
Romance,
have them,
yep. Huh?
Yeah, you still have to have them, even if they're not waifu of the day flavor. You still got to have somewhere.
You're always going to have those.
Yeah. But I just wish that there was at least one. Here's a mainstay mecha series. Per season, or at least every other season. But what's this? Witch from Mercury is the first main Gundam series with actual mobile suits since, was it Iron-Blooded Orphans? I don't count Gundam build divers.
Yeah,
it's like that. That was just Gundam's attempt at an isekai, and it kind of flopped. So yeah, there you go. Right.
Thank you very much for the comments. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right. So as we say, we do read them all, and we appreciate them, and we'll read them out on the show because we appreciate you guys.
And now it's time for memes.
Woo! You get more memes at Kanpai Cast, twitter.com/Kanpai_cast. Xeno or I, usually Xeno, but right now it's going to be me. Try to put out 3 a day, and let's So, I'll have a isekai with an OPMC, and he needs a harem, too. How original. And a magic system she completely ignores. Daring today, aren't we?
True.
Anime, everyone.
Well, yes.
Yep. Not wrong.
Make a meme about your waifu. Continue beating a dead horse. Well, I mean, I know what I'd pick.
Yeah. Yep.
Breathes in. Hello, I am the hero. I know this has actually gone out on the Twitter, but hello, I am the hero's father. I am sorry for the trouble my stupid son has caused. I'm going on a journey to beat up my son who has abandoned his childhood fiance and is doing whatever he wants out there. Even if he apologizes now, it's already too late.
Yeah.
These titles have gone too far. These titles have gone too far.
I kind of hope that at some point gets an anime adaptation, because I'd be down
10,
to read it.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32, 36, 40, 42, 4, 6, 8, 50 words.
But it has a 7.97 rating, so I mean, it must be good.
Yeah, well, there we go.
I can't play that too long because we'll probably get copyright strike, but you get it. Congratulations! No Game, No Life. Oh, sorry. Eminence of Shadow getting Season 2 right after Season 1 ended. No Game, No Life waiting 6 years and no Season 2. The Devil's a Part-Timer waiting 9 years only to get a bad Season 2. Yeah. That's life for you.
Fuck you, Eminence and Shadow. Fuck you!
On to Thaylien's.
Yeah.
What if you wanted to start your life in a fantasy isekai, but God said that?
What is that?
Well, you have to fall down several flights of stairs. What is this?
It's the opening of the more recent Digimon.
Oh.
It just throws him down the stairs.
Oh my god.
Right.
The tall muscular girl, obligatory cat girl, the yandere, the highlighted mighty ice queen whose heart the hero melts, the best girl everyone likes, and the tsundere everyone hates. When you realise Ben 10 is just a harem anime with an OP protagonist.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Fair.
No words needed.
Oh my god.
Oh, she tried.
Brilliant.
She did.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love that. That's brilliant.
Also, slimes have a hole that's their weak spot.
Go on.
Yep.
It's, I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level versus Rimuru.
Yeah.
From that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah.
It's that stuff.
Yep.
I brought you some sauce. Not that kind of sauce, you degenerate.
Oh.
Lol.
And we all know the sauce of this one.
Oh, god damn
Did you read this one yourself?
No, I did not, but that probably
weird.
did it anyway.
I don't hear it. It might have been recorded in
but the answer's on the screen already anyway. It's thank God for the Fortnite Rickroll.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, my first one. Okay. Be my navigator. Lost piece. So I'm assuming that you both know that Zoro just gets lost all the time. Just doesn't come back for ages.
assumed.
Yep, there you go. Me after finding a source for a henty, I'm super hacker.
Yep.
Xeno is a super hacker regularly.
Yep, number 3. One Piece fans. One Piece is overrated. No, One Piece is masterpiece. Sword Art Online fans. Our anime is shit. I know.
At least they know.
Number 5. Right, I had to take a screenshot of God, what's the name of the Reddit?
God.
Because the title says a lot. Thanks a lot, Netflix. Speaks Japanese.
Wow, good job, Netflix. Good job.
Yep. Number 5. Skip the intro. Not scientifically possible. Yep.
Wow. That's wow, I just need to.
Yep. And then
okay, there's still work.
Yep. Real artists, drawing hands, AI.
Obviously, I think this is a GIF, and it would be doing that over and over. But yeah.
Yep.
Or I just
tip big.
I swear when I do that, it doesn't always get rid of the memes. But anyway, yes.
Yeah.
It's because you click and drag all the time.
Yeah.
Fine, God.
Drag click. Anyway, that's it for this week's Kanpai Cast. Next week, there ain't going to be one. Nor the week after that. Because I'm going to be in Japan. I'm going to be living up the life in Japan.
The weeb
doing
mecca.
weeb things in Japan. Going to Akihabara, the weeb
In
mecca.
Japan.
In Japan. Right, so that's it. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching / listening. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Bye.